Great to see you in London. We wanted to start off with a few questions about your career. So first of all, why did you choose a career in manufacturing?
Well, when I was younger, there was a great manufacturing operation, or lots of manufacturing operations around the area I lived, and one of them was West Point Pepperell, which was a large textile manufacturing operation. So my mom actually got me a job there. I think I started off cleaning looms and twisters, basically cleaning up stuff in the twister. Pretty nasty job, but she got me a job there, and I was very thankful for it. And I went on from there to kind of work through college while I was working at West Point Pepperell. So needing the money as bad as I did, I went through and did a whole bunch of different jobs at a whole bunch of different plants, but I kept a steady job and was able to pay for my school, my college undergraduate, by working there. So I was very thankful for the opportunity to work there and have the chance to make the money to pay for my college education.
I would like to ask, why do you feel now there is a dearth of new manufacturing professionals in the States, and why is there a growing skills gap? And why is a career in manufacturing maybe not seen as being as desirable as maybe it once was?
Well, one is, I think over the past 2 or 3 decades, there's less manufacturing opportunities, is one. Secondly, I think manufacturing is probably the least equipped to provide people something more than pay. A lot of companies and organizations that I deal with, even now, still don't understand the value of engagement and what that means to people personally. And so they're trying to entice people with just compensation. And compensation is important, but once you have enough compensation to live a comfortable life, people will then start looking for the very next thing, which is, can they contribute? Are they asked? Do they feel like they're valued? Those are the things that very quickly come to the forefront once you have your compensation needs met. So that's where I think manufacturing has maybe not failed, but they've not done as good a job as other industries of attracting talent, the top talent. So that's my opinion, at least.
Sure. Thank you very much, Billy. As Director of Lean Product Development, what are the main responsibilities in your role?
My primary responsibility is to create new products in a very sustainable manner and get them to market quickly. Those are my primary high-level goals that I follow every day, and my team follows as well. We spend a lot of time developing products that are new and different from a materials and process and even from an application standpoint. So we spend a lot of time with that in processes and product, but we spend as much time in people development as well, investing a lot of time and energy in helping our team grow socially in a lot of different ways. So my primary job is to get new products developed and make sure that they perform properly, and then get them to market.
Fantastic. In terms of in your role, what are your 3 biggest challenges on a daily basis?
Well, that's pretty easy. One is, because I do these all day long, every day. One is painting a picture of a future state in a language that our stakeholders can understand. And the stakeholders vary based off project and idea, but what we try to do is I spend a lot of time working on innovation and continuous improvement. So to be able to get other people to understand that, I have to speak in the language that they can understand. And to give you an example, an engineer and and a marketing person don't have the same languages. So the way I would explain an idea or a project to one would be very different than to the other. So that's the first one. I do that all day long, every day. The second one is really understanding what our stakeholders need. And when I say stakeholders, it's not just customers, it's everyone who's involved with a project or idea, or anyone that can be impacted by that project or idea. So once you start considering a broader group beyond just the customer, the final external customer, then you start getting a lot of new ideas and opportunities for innovation brought to the forefront. So understanding what stakeholders want and what they need to engage is very important, and I spend a lot of time doing that. And then thirdly, the other thing I do is I spend the rest of my time convincing people that they have good ideas and that they should pursue them. Because people need lots and lots of encouragement, because I think, especially in manufacturing, they're told frequently that their ideas either are not worthwhile or they shouldn't be pursued, but that's not the truth. Usually the people that they're asking advice from have other reasons that they would not want it to be pursued, not that it's not a good idea.
As a follow-up question to that, Billy, thank you very much for your response. As a follow-up question, why do you think that there's a lack of encouragement within the manufacturing industry? And it kind of touches on your other point of wanting to create a better working environment and greater engagement amongst the workforce. But why do you feel there is a lack of encouragement in the manufacturing industry for new ideas when so much innovation is currently leading smaller businesses to a lot of success very quickly? So why is there a lack of encouragement for new ideas, new innovations?
I think the primary reason is because a lot of times people who come up with ideas, me early on, say 20 years ago, I was a little bit naive in thinking that ideas will be embraced just because of the value of the idea. The truth of the matter is that ideas that have value, that have the potential for disruption, also have the potential for social disruption. So what you have to explain a lot of times to get an idea to move is you have to be able to make sure that the stakeholders that will be impacted by the idea understand their place in the future state. If you cannot explain to them and assure them that they have a place in the future state, especially in manufacturing, then what winds up happening is they will not engage, because it's illogical for me to ask you to eliminate yourself from a position. That I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't expect for you to do it. So therefore, if you want an idea to be successful, you have to explain to the stakeholders, and they have to agree that there is a place in the future for them. And then that removes a lot of the resistance to ideas.
Thank you very much. That's very fascinating. How has the industry developed throughout your career, and what are the key differences from when you started?
Well, when I started, a long time ago now, 1985, it was a very different environment. Manufacturing was probably the place that had the least engagement, and the reason it was that way is because they didn't feel like they needed the engagement. They needed a set of hands, and they needed you to do your job every day, and so it was very much industrial engineering related. That was the thing at the time. Is how can you get the most from the people, the most value from the workers that you employed. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but that was just getting the body. Getting the mind is where really the future ground, and even into the future beyond that, getting the hearts of people. So you can have people standing at a machine doing things all day long, and that'll get you some value from them creating new things to be sold. But it will not get you ideas, and it will not get you passion about the jobs that they're doing to try to help you figure out how to do it better. And it certainly will not attract the best talent. So in the future, war for talent is coming. the people that are going to be the most armed are going to be the ones who have ability to get the hearts of people. That's where you're really after. That's what you're really after. I take 10 people that are passionate over 100 that are not. They'll do just the same amount of work.
Well, thank you very much, Billy. As a follow-up question to that, in your opinion, what is the biggest positive development or improvement that you've seen in American manufacturing in the past 30, 40 years working within manufacturing?
The adoption of sustainability principles by some of the manufacturing organizations, operations, has been very encouraging. Having the ability to consider economic, environmental, and social opportunities when you're considering things to do in the future, be it ideas or process improvements or even new business models, that is a very positive development. You can't have a sustainable organization without having all three. So companies that are attempting to do that now, many manufacturing companies are attempting to do that, many organizations, period. But manufacturers, that has been one of the great changes that I've seen, one of the very positive changes. I'm very proud to work at Interface that was kind of a pioneer in that particular environment, so that I got to learn firsthand practical experience about how to actually work on economics. I came out of automotive with the head knowledge to be economically vicious, just truly had the ability to change things at will using Lean and Six Sigma techniques. I had never considered that you could actually do that in an environmentally friendly way. It's until I got to Interface and I learned that ability there. And since then, maybe over the last 5 or 6 years, I've learned and been taught how to attempt the social change and social sustainability portion in the same way. And out of the three, the social sustainability portion is by far the most potent.
Thank you very much, Billy. What are the main challenges that you feel the industry is facing at the moment?
Well, the skilled trades and the lack of people with skilled trades is going to be a real big issue going forward. I think if people who have those skill sets are going to move around some based off compensation going up, at some point in time that will stabilize and it's just be a higher wage rate, and people will begin looking for things that like engagement. Where can I actually go and do my best work? Where can I be heard? Where can I be involved? Where can I actually do everything I want to do rather than just get paid? So when people find that, and organizations that provide that, they're going to have the edge to actually hire the best talent. And people that haven't been working on that already, either formally or informally, they're going to be at a disadvantage in the future. And I think they're in for a rude awakening.
Thank you. Final question that we sort of wanted to ask regarding your career and thoughts on the manufacturing industry as a whole. So during your career, what was the best piece of advice that you received from someone in a leadership position?
Well, the best piece of advice, and I'm going to paraphrase this, was to try to get the engagement from people, try to actually help them understand why it is that they should bring what they do best to work. And then go along with that a little bit. You have to apply policy fairly and evenly. But anyone who wants the best from people knows that you can't treat people the same. Some people respond positively in some ways, and some people will respond positively to other ways that you would work with them. So getting the best from people, understanding what they really need, what they want, is the way that you would go about. That's the way you're gonna go about getting the best as you go forward. Having, I think a lot of times I use the term people do their best work. Presenting an opportunity for people to do their best work, that's what people are really drawn to. Not everybody, but again, the 10 that I'm looking for, that's what they're drawn to. Providing that opportunity, that's really what you want.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Billy. Perfect. Well, just a few questions that we had regarding the American Manufacturing Strategy Summit, which took place last month in San Diego, and looking forward to the AMS 2019 that's going to take place in Houston, Texas. So first of all, Billy, how would you describe your overall experience at AMS 2018 in San Diego?
I thought it was excellent. It was a very well run event, great speakers, great venue, good food, lots of networking opportunities with people that I would consider to be experts in their industries. So it was not, it was not a homogenous, kind of everybody was from manufacturing. They were, but it was very much a lot of different industries represented and a lot of different viewpoints and perspectives to discuss similar opportunities. So I thought it was very, very well run event, very good event.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Billy. In your opinion, so breaking away from the questions that we have here, but in your opinion, what were some of the standout presentations that you took the most value from?
Well, I'm probably not going to remember the names of every one of the presenters, but
we can bypass that in that case. Okay. That's absolutely fine.
Well, hang on. But one, Stephanie Hart from Beyond Meat. That was a very interesting presentation about something that in sustainability I've seen as an opportunity for a while, and it sounds like they have a very good business model to not only create this new product, this non-meat product from plant-based material, but it actually tastes good. So therefore, there's an economic incentive to buy it, and there's a market there. So they're actually solving one of the primary sustainability opportunities in the future about how to feed people and not eat as much meat at the same time. So I thought that was an extremely interesting presentation. That's one of the first economically viable models that I've actually seen that I would say, hey, that might work. So that was one that comes to mind.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. In terms of your own presentation, Billy, could you sum up some of the key points?
Sure. One of the primary points is, and something that I've become aware of as I'm learning and practicing this, the sustainability principles, especially around social sustainability, is innovation is directly correlated to the ability to understand social change inside of an organization and the social relationships that it's connected to. So that's one of the primary, kind of sum up, one of the primary points. That's why you need to understand social change. Is if you want to be effective at innovating, you have to understand stakeholders and social relationships that involve with them. Another point was it's not important why people agree on what things there are to do. It's just important that you can agree on the what's. So once you agree on what's, then you can have several different reasons about why you would want to do that, and that's okay. So understanding that social responsibility should be considered first in every process and every product that you're making, and that's not something that's common amongst organizations yet. but it's coming because of the power in it. It doesn't, is not represented well when you talk about the voice of the customer, but as in the voice of the stakeholder, it plays highly in making good decisions about doing things inside of organizations that would be beneficial to both inside and outside stakeholders of your projects and your products. So that's, I know that wasn't a great summary, it wasn't too concise, but that's kind of what I was speaking about there at the event.
Perfect, thank you. What is the benefit of coming to an event like AMS?
Well, one of the main benefits to me is learning. I'm a learner. I love to learn, and when I get to hear people speaking about what they've done, then I get ideas about what I could do that would apply to my arena, in my area, my job, my products, my processes. So that's the primary draw for me. And closely behind that is the opportunity to network with the people who are talking about these ideas and opportunities. Lots of times when speakers get done, I have questions for them after the fact. I can catch them at a break. I can catch them at lunch. I can kind of ask them my questions and give them some what if scenarios and let them really help me really try to fit that idea better into what I can use when I go back. So those are the things I'm primarily looking for when I go to events.
Brilliant. And finally, Billy, what would you say to someone who is thinking about coming to AMS 2019 in Houston, Texas?
Okay, if it's like the past events I went to, and I'm sure it's going to be, I would say don't miss out on the opportunities to talk and with these experts that are going to come from multiple industries with multiple different perspectives and angles, and don't miss that networking opportunity, but also don't miss the opportunity to learn from the presentations that's being presented, to hear how people have solved some of the issues and opportunities that you have yourself. So that's those are the things I think I would say to somebody else. Here's your opportunity to learn. Here's your opportunity to improve your own operation, your own organization. So definitely come here and learn for yourself how to do that.